About Kalki Purnima.
I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay. So this every year September month, all this ISKCON devotees they celebrate this Bhatra Purnima festival. That is basically it is distributing Srimad Bhagavatam books to all the other people also. People for our devotees and other people also. So we know that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that 6 questions. First, this Savanaka Rishis, they ask Sutta Goswami that one of the question is, the last 6th question is, where does this religious things have taken shelter in this Kali Yuga like that. So that time, the Sutta Goswami says that Srimad Bhagavatam. So though Krishna is not physically present here, he is present in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna himself. So this distributing this Srimad Bhagavatam is very important. So devotees, those who are not having, they can purchase it, and even you can, as a gift also, you can give it to your relatives or friends, and you can inspire other people to buy this Srimad Bhagavatam. So we know in that Bhagavad Gita, we know that Lord Krishna has spoken this about Karma Yoga, Bhakti, this Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, all these things we know. But all these things are practically how a devotee follows. That we can see in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is basically glorification of Lord Krishna and the Bhakti process. So many devotees, they have practiced, so many exalted devotees, like Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, so many devotees' pastimes are elaborated there. So how they practically applied Bhagavad Gita in their life. So that we can see, and it's basically about Bhakti. How we can practice Bhakti and how we can purify our life. About that only, Bhagavatam is full of all narrations of all their pastimes, what in their life, how they were and how they transformed, and how the Bhakti was spread. About that only, it is there. Then what is in Srimad Bhagavatam? Each canto is full of stories. Stories means it's a practical history, how different devotees have lived their life, and what are the lessons we can learn, and what are the instructions the exalted devotees have given that will help us to get through life easier. See, all these situations in our life also will happen. So when some past experience is there, we can take use of that, this one. That is the main thing. And all answers to life's toughest questions, also it is we can understand from hearing Bhagavatam, that all different devotees, how they have solved their problems in their life. So that all the answers are there, so that we can also follow that similar thing and purify our life. And what next we'll see about what would you do if you had only 7 days left. So here Parīkṣit Maharaj is a great emperor. So he was cursed to die in 7 days. So when he was cursed to do that, what he does, that we can come to know. 5,000 years ago, emperor of the kingdom of Bharata was cursed by a small boy to die in 7 days. Knowing that he had less time, what did he do? That we'll know. Journey with Maharaj Parīkṣit, an exemplary yogi, and the emperor facing his imminent death, as he illustrates the greatest adventure in existence, the soul's journey back home, back to God. So how he gives up this world and how he goes back to Lord Sabbath, that we can see. No matter what are the questions he is asking, and how great a renunciate he is. About that we will see. Along the way, learn about the essence of reality and the person behind it, and all is indispensable yoga ladder, Srimad Bhagavatam. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is the great encyclopedia of human culture. So about peace, reincarnation, happiness, consciousness, illusions, all these things are very nicely narrated. For those seeking spiritual insight, they offer simple and practical guidance for attainment of highest self-knowledge. Self-knowledge means we can understand who we are. See, in Bhagavad Gita, we know that we are all spirit souls, though we are all, some of us are in male body, some of us are in female body, but we are all basically spirit souls. And what is our purpose, what we are supposed to do in this work, and what is the goal of our life, that all we can understand. So for all type of people, for our normal people, for sociologists or anthropologists, they reveal the practical working of a peaceful, prosperous, and scientifically organized culture. Even for scientists, atheists, whoever it is there, they can just go through this. It's a wonderful thing. For the students of psychology, they provide important perspectives on the nature of consciousness, human behavior, and philosophical study of identity. That is, our identity is we are not this body, about that. Then Dasodhara stories in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Lord Krishna's various incarnations and expansions, all these details are given in all details are given. All these avatars are given. And as you know that the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are about 18 volumes of book. Each book may be about 700, 800 pages. So here these different books are given. So for whoever wants to buy, they can contact Rajiv Krishna Prabhu or Sri Hari Sridhara Das Prabhu. You may be knowing them. Their mobile number also is given here. So you can note down and contact them. And they are giving during especially during this Bhadra Purnima time, devotees are giving at a discounted price. Normal price is 8,000 rupees. Now they are giving it at 7,000 rupees price. And this price is specially only for Gita Gyan students, those who have gone through this Gita Gyan, only for them. And once you order, and they will directly deliver to your house address. I mean, you will not go anywhere. Directly you contact them, they will send your address, then they will send it to your house. And if installation is required, that some process is there, that our devotees, they will come and do kirtan, and they will explain in short what is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. So these all facilities are there. Please make use of this. Thank you very much, all devotees. So now we'll start today's class with a small kirtan. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradari, Jaya Girivaradari, Jaya Gopi Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradari, Jaya Girivaradari, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Brajajanaranjana, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Brajajanaranjana, Yamuna Tira Nanachari, Yamuna Tira Nanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. श्री श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र जी की जय, ज्ञानाथ बलदेव सुब्रमण्य की जय, श्री गौरताय की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरुदेव की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद।
Hare Krishna, Jyotishwar Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Actually, if anybody else also want to sponsor for others people except Gita Gyan devotees, participant. So if he wants to give some Lakshmi to me, you can distribute discounted Bhagavatam. So we can do it. You can announce that one.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Prabhu. So as Honorable Keshav Prabhu has told that you can sponsor for other people also. See, there are so many people, they may not have the finance to buy Bhagavatam, but they may have a lot of interest to read, understand, and to give this knowledge to others also. So for such people, this if some of you are interested to donate, you can donate it. So on your name, on your behalf, it will be distributed to them. So actually, it is a very, very great thing in Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, I think 13th chapter, 12th canto, 13th verse. It is very nicely mentioned that those who are sponsoring for others, they will go back to God's support. That is very nicely, it is written. So that Goswami has told, it is very nicely, it is written. So that is a very wonderful thing. So people, those devotees who are interested, they can make use of that opportunity, can sponsor for others, so that those who are not having that much finance, still they can continue to read and understand, and they can practice bhakti. So that is very important. Thank you very much for this. So now we'll start the class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Udire Nashtaprayesu Abhatresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavate Naistiki. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Satsuru Militam Yana Tasmai Sri Guruve Namo Vishwaya Bodhi Srimadi Bhaktivedanta Swami Dinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachani Nirvishesha Shunyamadi Pachachanade Sadari Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. So till last week you would have seen about Lord Krishna's pastimes in Dwarka. So this week we are going to see about birth of, we are going to see Canto 1, Chapter 12, Birth of Emperor Parīkṣit. So it is a wonderful chapter. So all of you would have heard several times that this Srimad Bhagavatam, there are about 12 cantos, and there are in 18 volumes, because some of the cantos are very big. Prabhupada has made it in different volumes. For example, 10th canto is very big. So it may be 3-4 volumes. Like that, first canto also 2-3 volumes. So 18 volumes are there. So, and this out of all these cantos, first canto is very, very special because Prabhupada has put all his energy and all these purports, he has made it a very big, all big purports he has given, especially for first canto. So whatever one need to know about Krishna consciousness, all the things he has given in the first canto. So ideally we should read all the cantos. Yeah, but first please try to read and understand this first canto. That is very important because Prabhupada has put all his time and energy and given all details in this first canto. So please try to read this first canto first. Then you can try to read other cantos also. This is very important and it's a wonderful thing. Prabhupada has given all his life ecstasy, whatever his realizations are there, all he has put in these things. So today we'll try to learn about this chapter 12, birth of Emperor Parīkṣit. So from Parīkṣit Maharaj, we know that he is a descendant from this Pandavas. He is Abhimanyu's son, Abhimanyu and Uttara's son. So when Krishna was about to leave to Dwarka, that time Uttara is running towards Krishna, and telling that this Brahmastra is coming to kill the child in my womb. Please save me, like that. She comes and asks Krishna. So this Brahmastra was released by Aswatthama. All of you know that Aswatthama, Dronacharya's son, plus he has killed. Already he has killed the 5 children of Pandavas. When they were sleeping, just after the war, when they were sleeping, he went and in the night he went there and he has cut all their head and he brought and gave it to Duryodhana. And afterwards, we know that they brought him, they arrested him and brought to Draupadi, and that incidents you have heard. Afterwards, this because now they understood that Uttara is carrying the child in her womb, that is a descendant of this Pandavas. Because now everybody is finished, Pandavas, they are already old, they will go back, they will leave their bodies in some days. Then afterwards, they are only descendant, this child in the womb of Uttara is there. So Aswatthama, he wanted to finish that also. So he has released this Brahmastra. So Brahmastra is, that the speciality of Brahmastra is nowadays, if one person has to kill someone, they have to go there physically and kill, or they have to put a bomb and that will kill all the people in that vicinity, isn't it? That is the problem. But in the Brahmastra is, they have to chant some mantra and it will go and it will go and search that person and it will kill only that person. Nearby him, whoever is there, it will not affect. It will not cause any disturbance to the other people. So that much advanced technologies, these people in the Vedic times, great exalted personalities, they had that power. And some devotees, they have the power, they can release it to retract it, to get back also. Some mantras they have to chant. That also some people are knowing. So that much exalted technology they had in those days. So we'll just read one or two verses. Sri Saunaka Uvacha Aswatamno Pasrisnena Brahma Sisrunosu Noru Tejasa Uttaraya Hato Garba Isena Jivaita Punaha. Translation. The sage Saunaga said, the womb of Uttara, mother of Maharaja Parīkṣit, was spoiled by the dreadful and invincible Brahmastra weapon released by Aswatthama, but Maharaj Parīkṣit was saved by the Supreme Lord. But the sages assembled in the forest of Naimisaranya inquired from Sutta Goswami about the birth of Maharaj Parīkṣit. Actually, we would have heard that 6 questions initially the sages, the Saunaga Rishi, Naimisaranya, they asked Sutta Goswami. Then he answered that 6 questions. Afterwards, another 4 questions he asks. So the second question is about Parīkṣit Maharaj. Parīkṣit Maharaj, when he was explaining Sutta Goswami, he started talking about this Aswatthama's killing these 5 children of Pandavas and Krishna's Leelas in Dwarka. Like that, it's slightly deviated. That Sutta Goswami has slightly deviated and it has Queen Kunti's prayers, then Bhishma Deva's teachings. All these things, it has gone to slightly different way. That is why again they are asking. Again these Naimisaranya sages, represented by Saunaka Rishi, again he is asking. So please tell more about Parīkṣit Maharaj, what happened to him, and why he has to renounce the world, and what happened to him after death. Like that, all details they are asking. So this question was already asked, but because Sutta Goswami has little deviated and gone to other side stories also, so they are trying to bring him back to learn about this Parīkṣit Maharaj. So this is a thing we can learn from this. Next verse is, how was the great emperor Parīkṣit, who was highly intelligent and great devotee, born in that womb? How did his death take place? What did he achieve after his death? So they are asking great devotee, that is Parīkṣit Maharaj, how he born in that womb of Uttara, and how did his death, how he was cursed to death, and what did he achieve after his death? So that all at the end of Bhagavatam, that we'll come to know that he has gone back to Lord Sabaoth. So when this Parīkṣit Maharaj was there in the womb of his mother Uttara, when this Aswatthama released this Brahmastra, so it was trying to, so Brahmastra means it will generate a lot of heat. So it was approaching Uttara to kill the child. So when it was coming towards that, then she asked the help of Krishna. And we know that Krishna is there everywhere, isn't it? As a Lord is there everywhere. So he immediately expanded from that mother's Uttara's womb. He comes to Lord Vishnu. He appears in the form of a thumb size. This much it is mentioned here, and he enters the womb, and there he is protecting. I mean, he is dissipating the Brahmastra's heat and other things. So this Parīkṣit Maharaj was able to see that though he is a small child, he was able to see that Lord Vishnu in the womb, the womb where he is there, he was able to see. That is what where we see. So this previous stories you would have heard already that Parīkṣit Maharaj was cursed by the Srinki, that small boy, Brahmana boy. He cursed Parīkṣit Maharaj that because you have put the dead snake on my father's head, I curse you to die in 7 days, like that he curses. And we know that Parīkṣit, this Parīkṣit Maharaj is a great king. He renounced it very easily. See, though he was a powerful king, he was a great exalted person. He just renounced the kingdom and he went to this Ganges, the banks of Ganges, where he was. He just went there and he was sitting. Then all rishis they came. Then Sukadeva Goswami also came there. Then he is asking the questions. See, now I am cursed to die in 7 days. What I am supposed to do? Like that he is asking the question. So that time Sukadeva Goswami starts answering. And we know that this Parīkṣit Maharaj is an exalted devotee. So when a Brahmana son cursed him, he could have easily tackled that because Parīkṣit Maharaj was powerful enough to counter that curse. But because he was devotee of the Lord means what? They take the life as it comes. So he has cursed means not he has cursed, it is by Lord's arrangement it has happened. I will take it as it is. This is a good chance for me to purify my life, like that. He takes that way and he surrenders to his guru, that is Sukadeva Goswami, and Sukadeva Goswami is narrating the entire Bhagavatam to him. So that is very important. So in our life also, so many problems will come. We can try to solve it. If it doesn't get solved, then we should accept it's Lord's plan. We should accept Lord's plan as it is. And we should just go through whatever happens, everything happening because based on our karma, and Lord is giving different situations in our life, isn't it? So that we have to accept, then just to go ahead with our life. Because after all, we are all spirit souls. Anything happen, even if we have to leave this body also, doesn't matter. We get a Lord who is mercifully is going to give another body. And from there also we are going to continue this spiritual practice. So there is no problem in it. So the next verse. We all respectfully want to hear about him, Maharaj Parīkṣit, to whom Sukadeva Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge. Please speak on this matter. So Sukadeva Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge to Maharaj Parīkṣit during the remaining 7 days of his life. So Maharaj Parīkṣit heard him properly, just like an ardent student. So you are sincerely hearing. The effect of such a bona fide hearing and chanting of Srimad Bhagavatam was equally shared by both the hearer and chanter. So this is very important. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. So suppose now we are trying to read and understand. This is equally beneficial for both the hearer and chanter. That is very important. That is the greatness of this Krishna conscious activities. If you see other materialistic activity, suppose somebody is going to a movie, they will see somebody is dancing or something. So only the who are dancing or who are singing, they are only relishing the things. But in Krishna conscious, Lord is giving mercifully to all the people the mercy. Whoever is the present for everybody, Lord is giving the mercy. So whoever is chanting, talking Bhagavatam, whoever is hearing, whoever is practicing, for everybody, Lord is giving his mercy so that all people can progress in their spirituality. So both of them were benefited. So those who are narrating and those who are hearing. So out of the 9 different transcendental means of devotional service to the Lord prescribed in Bhagavatam, that we know that Saranam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, this all 9 process we know, isn't it? So this, if somebody can practice all these 9, it is good. If not all the 9, at least whatever is possible. But Sravanam Kirtanam is very important. At least minimum 2 we should do. Sravanam Kirtanam. And when we are associating with the devotees, indirectly we will follow all things. We go to temple. That means we are using our feet. Pada Sevadanam. Pada Sevanam to reach the temple we go, isn't it? That is Pada Sevanam, we can take it. And so many Archanam, we also do Mangalarti. All the things indirectly we can do. We may not be doing all the days, all the things, but minimum this chanting and hearing we should do daily. That is very important because these both complement each other, chanting and hearing. So when we hear about the Lord, our interest for chanting increases. Otherwise, if somebody is trying to do mechanically, then it will not help anyone, isn't it? Because chanting process, we should try to understand what it is. Chanting process, we are trying to chant the holy name of the Lord and try to hear the mantra. Prabhupada often used to tell that we chant and hear the sound vibrations when we chant the holy name. So when we chant the holy name of the Lord, we should be, see, our mind should be with us. That is very important. Our mind will go run here and there. We should try to bring it back. That is very important. Only when we bring it back, we are progressing. Otherwise, if our mind is thinking about something, then we are not, will not get the full benefit. Isn't it? That is very important. We should, though our mind will run here and there, we should try to bring back and try to hear the mantra. And our feelings also should be there. What for we are doing this? That also we should remember often. We are not doing just like that, just like mechanically we are not doing. We are doing these things to purify ourselves, isn't it? To purify ourselves and offer to the Lord. When we purify ourselves, we'll become pure. Then we can do nice seva to the Lord. With so many impurities, when we do seva, it will not be so good. So that we should repeatedly remember. It's not a mechanical thing. We do it to please the Lord, to serve the Lord nicely. So here we are learning that out of this 9 angas are there. 9 angas of bhakti. Sravanam Kirtanam is the main, 2 main important things. And other things also, whenever possible in the association of devotees, we should try to do that. See, in Kali Yuga here, Prabhupada talks about some other people. They say that the spiritual master is like electric current, and the disciple is there. So the spiritual master gives the electric current like a shock he gives, and this unconscious, the disciple, he gets charged up like that. So many speculations are there in the outside world. So the Prabhupada here he writes that we don't do such any speculation. We just, whatever is told by our Acharya, we just repeat it. That is, we don't find any such tales. That's what here Prabhupada writes. The next sloka, Sri Sutta Goswami said, Emperor Yudhishthira administrated generously to everyone during his reign. He was exactly like his father. He had no personal ambitions and was freed from all sorts of sense gratification because of his continuous service unto the lotus feet of Krishna, Sri Krishna. As mentioned in our introduction, there is a need for the science of Krishna in human society for all the suffering humanity of the world. We simply request the leading personalities of all nations to take to the science of Krishna for their own good. So this Prabhupada often used to tell, a king means he should be follower of Shastra. Basically, king is a representative of God. Isn't it? Whatever God is doing, a king is supposed to do. Though God is not physically present, so the king is supposed to follow. That is, he has to establish dharma, and he should have read this Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, he should be thoroughly knowing all these things. See, even in this Kali Yuga also we see many times many politicians, whenever they come for political campaign and all, they talk about this Rama Rajya, isn't it? They want to rule like how Lord Ram was ruling. They all just talk like that. See, Prabhupada often used to tell, they want Rama Rajya without Lord Ram. How it is possible, isn't it? Ram Rajya means they should be really meaning that, and they should follow what Lord Rama has told. Their teaching they should follow, and they should try to conduct the things as per this one, isn't it? So that is very important. But nowadays they just hypocrisy. They talk something and do something different. And here in this purport, Prabhupada also writes about Praja. Praja means normally people take it that Praja means only the human beings. But Prabhupada here he writes very clearly that whoever has taken birth in this land where the king is there, all are Prajas. For example, animals also. Animals, so many other, we know that there are 8.4 million species of different lives are there. Even aquatics are there, plants, reptiles, animals, human beings, like that. So many 8.4 million species of lives are there. So all these lives, Lord has mercifully created 8.4 million species of life, because in each body, these are all different bodies, isn't it? In each body, different types of pleasure one can get. So basically, we have come from this spiritual world to enjoy different pleasure away from the Lord, isn't it? For that reason only all of us have come. So Lord has mercifully created this material world with so many bodies. He has not given only male and female body. He has, apart from this human being, he has given so many other bodies like aquatics, plants, trees, all these things, because in different bodies, people can get different types of pleasure. For example, somebody wants to play in water all the time. So they are given the body of aquatics, so that like a fish or dolphin or a whale, they can enjoy their life in the sea, isn't it? Like that, reptiles, birds, somebody wants to fly, for them, birds, body is given. So somebody wants to show their body, for them, this plant, they can stand as a tree for thousands of years. And somebody wants to sleep for long years, for them, they are given like some animals like polar bear, it can sleep for 6 months without any disturbance, it can sleep like that. Different body Lord has created, and we can get based on our desire, based on our karma and our desire at the time of leaving the body, we will get that the body. So, and naturally from one body to other body, as per Lord's plan, the progress will happen. Ultimately, we come to this human form of life. From this human form of life, one has the opportunity to go back to Lord's abode, or again go back to lower species of life. That option is there in human form of life. Till we reach human form of life, that naturally it happens. Progress from one species of life to another species of life by Lord's arrangement, they progress nicely. There is no karma also below human beings level. All these other species of life, there is no karma. Whatever the animals or whatever this they do in this one, they just progress from one body to other body. But only in human form of life, this karma is given. That is, for karma means basically a responsibility. Whatever activity we do, for that reaction will be there. If we do good activity, we will progress further. If we do bad activity, we will degrade ourselves. So this option is there in human form of life. And from here we can go back to Lord's abode, or we can go down also. We can go to some other animal species of life also. That choice is there always. So here Prabhupada writes that the king is there, he should give protection to all jivas, all the rajas. That is irrespective of whether they are there in human form or they are there in animals form. They should give protection to all. But nowadays, if we see that there is no protection for other than humans, isn't it? For other, sometimes they say that there is no life only in other. Some ignorant people, they think that there is no soul in animals, isn't it? So many animals are being slaughtered. So they say there is no soul in that, or it's not important, and nobody cares about such things, isn't it? But in Vedic culture, it's not like that. All living beings are taken care. The next verse. News even reached the celestial planets about Maharaja Yudhishthira's worldly possessions, the sacrifices by which he would attain a better destination, his queen, his stalwart brothers, his extensive land and his sovereignty over the planet Earth and his fame. So here we have heard about Maharaja Yudhishthira, such an exalted personality. He was always following Dharma. And so his glories were known to even celestial planets. Even great personalities who are there in celestial planets, in higher planets, they also heard about this Maharaja Yudhishthira. See, only in the purport Prabhupada writes, only a rich and great man's name and fame are known all over the world. And the name and fame of Maharaja Yudhishthira reached higher planets because of his good administration. So he was administrating the kingdom very nicely. So Yudhishthira was very much worried whether that a new child, what is going to take birth, that is Parīkṣit Maharaj, whether he will be a follower of us, that he wanted to know. So here Prabhupada writes that any material scientists and engineers who have discovered a vehicle to travel over a few thousand miles in our space will not be allowed to entrance. That is higher planets. Because those days, before Kali Yuga, people who are there in this material world, they were given the power to go to other planets also. See, like Arjuna, I would have heard many times, he have gone to different planets along with Lord Krishna, isn't it? So that power was given those days. But during Kali Yuga, this is not given. That is, we cannot see now we are all there in this material world. We cannot go to other planets. But that is why these material scientists and engineers, they have invented this airplane and other vehicles, isn't it, to go to satellite, along with the satellites, they can travel to other planets. They are trying, actually, Prabhupada says we cannot go because the Lord has designed all this planetary system, isn't it? He has designed how one can go to other planets based on the karma. Suppose we are exalted, we are pure souls, we can go higher planet, to higher planets also. But when we are degraded people, then we'll go to lower species of life in the bottom, isn't it? So it is based on Lord's plan only it can happen. But nowadays, scientists and engineers, they are trying to discover different aeroplane like that, other things to go to other planets. So here Prabhupada writes that is not the way to reach better planets. We cannot go there. Prabhupada gives one example that suppose somebody wants to go to America, simply they cannot take this one and go there, isn't it? They should have passport and visa. Visa is a permission from America that they can come like that. We should get it. Then only they are allowed entry there, isn't it? So for this material world itself is like that. Imagine about other so many other planets. Simply one cannot go there. That's what Prabhupada is trying to say. O Brahmanas, the opulence of a king was so enchanting that the denizens of heaven aspired for it. But because he was absorbed in the service of the Lord, nothing could satisfy him except the Lord's service. There are here the purport Prabhupada writes that there are two things in this world which can satisfy living beings. When one is materially engrossed, he is satisfied only by sense gratification. But when he is liberated from the conditions of the material modes, he is satisfied only by rendering loving devotional service for the satisfaction of the Lord. This means that living beings is constitutionally a servitor and not only who is served. Being illusioned by the conditions of external energy, one falsely thinks himself to be the served, but actually he is not served. He is a servant of his senses like lust, anger, avarice, pride, madness, and intolerance. So here Prabhupada writes that there are two types of two things. One is some living entities, they are only interested in sense gratification. So they want to enjoy their senses all the time. And there are other type of living beings, they want to serve the Lord. Isn't it? Two types of living entities. And so basically here Prabhupada writes that we are always serving others. Even when we are trying to do sense gratification also, we try to serve our senses, isn't it? All our senses we try to serve. Lust, anger, desire, this avarice, that is greed, pride, madness, all these things we develop. These are all basically called anarthas. So in the spiritual consciousness, when we try to serve the Lord, we are serving others. I mean, nobody, here what Prabhupada writes, nobody is being served. Only Lord is being served, and we even if we do sense gratification also, that is we are serving our senses. We are not being served. That is the main thing we should understand. So always we are serving others. Prabhupada also used to tell us an example that even in foreign countries, nowadays in India also you can see, if no one is there to serve, then they will buy a dog or a cat, or they will keep it in the home and they will try to serve. They will try to take the, we can see in Bangalore very easily that so many people early morning, even when we go for Mangalarti also we see morning 4:35 and all, people they walk with the dogs, for they will go along with the dog and they will go for walking and this one. So always we are trying to serve others. We are, we are not being served, that we should understand. Even we are trying to do sense gratification also, we are trying to serve our senses and mind. And in this next paragraph, Prabhupada writes that the whole material world is full of hungry living entities, living beings. The hunger is not for good food, shelter, or sense gratification. The hunger is for spiritual atmosphere. So here Prabhupada writes that all of us who is there in this material world, we are all actually hungry for spiritual atmosphere. But out of ignorance, we are thinking that because of food or shelter or sense gratification, only we are hungry. Actually, it's not like that. Because food is always there, sense gratification also, so much things are there. Why? But still, why people are not satisfied? Because we need spiritual consciousness. But without knowing that, we are trying to satisfy through materialistic activity. That's why we are all suffering here. So here Prabhupada writes that such hunger can be satisfied only when the living being is situated in immortality, which is attained in the spiritual sky, far, far above the Brahmaloka, in the association of Lord Muhunda. The Lord awards his devotees in the transcendental pleasure of liberation. So this is also is there always, isn't it? That many times we are worried why we are not satisfied in these things, because we don't realize our immortality. Immortality means we are all spirit soul. We are not this body. So that we have to realize that. For that purpose only we are all here. We should see so many things we have here in this Krishna consciousness. We have to try to realize these things, these facts. We should realize. See, so many times you would have heard that we are not this body, but have we realized it? No, isn't it? We are not realized. We have realized, then our activity will change. But we always do all the activity for our body only. That means we are not realized. We have heard, sometimes we would have understood also, we are not this body like that, but we have not realized. That is the main thing. We should try to realize the things. So in the next verse, 7th verse, O son of Bhrigu, Saunaka, when the child Parīkṣit, the great fighter, was in the womb of Mother Uttara, was suffering from the burning heat of the Brahmastra thrown by Aswatthama, he could observe the Supreme Lord coming to him. So this is what here he is able to see the Lord. Death generally involves remaining in trance for 7 months. A living being, according to his own action, is allowed to enter into the womb of a mother by the vehicle of father's semen. Thus, he develops his desired body. This is the law of birth in specific bodies according to one's past actions. So, here Prabhupada writes that death means generally involves remaining in trance for 7 months, that is in mother's. So, whenever we die, suppose 9 months we are there in mother's womb, 7 months we are in trance. We don't have any realization. We are in trance, and afterwards our body starts growing, and we have the feelings and other things, isn't it? So that's what here Prabhupada writes. So here Maharaj Parīkṣit, he could see the child could see that someone else has come to save him. Even in the helpless condition, the child Parīkṣit endured the unbearable temperature due to his being a great fighter by nature, and for this reason the word viraha has been used. So when Brahmastra is coming, unbearable temperature, heat is there. So Lord is dissipating that. He is entering the womb and he is dissipating that. See, here it is written, he, the Lord, was only thumb height, this much height only. And thus he was all transcendental, and he had a very beautiful blackish infallible body, and he wore a dress of lightning yellow and a helmet of blazing gold, and thus he was seen by the child. This verse, 9th verse. The Lord was enriched with 4 hands. So Lord Krishna, he appears in Lord Vishnu form, 4-hand form, and the earrings of molten gold, eyes blood red with fury, and he lighted about his club constantly encircled him like a shooting star. So it is said in the Brahma Samhita that the Lord, Supreme Lord Govinda, his one plenary portion enters into the halo of the universe and distributes himself as a Paramatma or the super soul, not only within the heart of every living being, but also every atom of material elements. The Lord is all pervading. So we know that Lord is all pervading, and by his inconceivable potency, he entered the womb of Uttara to save his beloved devotee Maharaj Parīkṣit. So in Bhagavad Gita 9.31, Lord assured everyone that his devotees are never to be vanquished. No one can kill a devotee of the Lord because especially he is protected by the Lord. No one can save a person. Can save a person whom the Lord decides to tell. So this is very important. When Lord wants to protect someone, nobody can kill. See here, Aswatthama tried to kill Parīkṣit Maharaj, it did not happen. And same way, when Lord wants to kill someone, nobody can protect, isn't it? Lord Ram, he wanted to kill Ravana, and even Lord Shiva could not do anything, isn't it? Though Ravana was a devotee of Lord Shiva, he could not protect. That's what, when Lord decides to kill someone, nobody can protect. The Lord is all powerful, therefore he can both save or kill as he likes. He became visible to his devotee Maharaj Parīkṣit even in the awkward position in the womb of his mother, in a shape just suitable for his vision. So the Lord can become, this also we have heard many times, isn't it? The Lord can become bigger than the thousands of universe and can become smaller than one atom also. So Lord can manifest in any way. That is his greater potency. In this material world, we can see Lord as a Archa Vigraha. The Lord was thus engaged in vanquishing the radiation of the Brahmastra. Just as the sun evaporates a drop of dew, he was absorbed by the child who thought about who he was. So here it is written that the Lord is vanquishing the radiation of Brahmastra, it will generate a lot of heat. So that just like a sun evaporates a drop of dew, same way Lord has destroyed this Brahmastra, the effect of Brahmastra, and then he was observed by the child, that Parīkṣit Maharaj, who is in the womb of Uttara, he is observing the Lord. While thus being observed by the child, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the super soul of everyone, and the protector of the righteous, who stretches in all directions and who is unlimited by time and space, disappeared at once. See, after destroying this Brahmastra, Lord disappeared at once. That it is. Child Parīkṣit was not observing a living being who is limited by time and space. So here it is written, Lord means he is not limited by time and space, whereas we are all limited by time and space, isn't it? So we cannot live eternally, though because the body was on the deteriorating. So our time is limited, and space also, we can be present in one place only. But whereas Lord is not like that. Lord can be, there is no limitation of time and space for the Lord. Supreme, see here the Lord is mentioned herein as the supreme living being, unlimited by time and space. Every living being is limited by time and space. Even though a living being is qualitatively one with the Lord, quantitatively there is a great difference between Supreme Lord and the common individual soul. So that we know, because our qualities we can match with the qualities of Lord. But right now in the materialistic condition, we have developed all anarthas, isn't it? All good qualities have turned into anarthas, all meaningless things. All these 6 anarthas have come. By practicing this bhakti process, all these anarthas can be again turned back into good qualities. Then by in quality we will become like Lord. Then we can go back to Lord's abode. Once we turn back our anarthas into good qualities of good qualities like Lord, then we become eligible to go back to Lord's abode. So that is the thing the bhakti does. Bhakti process, whatever we are trying to do, that's what it will do. It will help us to convert, transform all these anarthas into good qualities. So and the next year, it is talked about this different samskars. When a child is born, different things are to be done, isn't it? That Garbhadaga sanskar, then when the child is born, some samskaras are done, isn't it? So earlier days people are doing it. Nowadays many people are not doing, but it is recommended that people do that, all these things. Human being means we should do the samskaras so that we can advance spiritually and we can go back to God's abode. And when a child is born also, so much this charity is given. Charity is given. The charity to whom it should be given. See here in this verse it is written, King Yudhishthira was very satisfied with the birth of Maharaj Parīkṣit at the purificatory process of birth performed. Learned Brahmanas headed by Dhaumya and Kripa recited auspicious hymns. So that is very important when the child is, all this, when child is about to born, when the child is born, all this samskaras have to be done. Then the child will be spiritually situated. Otherwise, we become polluted and we will be loitering in this material world only. And here also Prabhupada writes in the purport, Prabhupada also writes about this charity to be given to whom. So that is very important. It should not be seen nowadays. We see there are so many beggars and other things, isn't it? But in Vedic times there is no beggars. Everybody will be engaged in some activity. Even when Britishers came to India, some 100 years, maybe 400, 500 years back also, they were surprised to see that they could not find even a single beggar also in India. Because whereas in other countries, beggars are very common. They will not do any work, simply they will beg money, and from that they will try to live their life. But in India, there were people who are not like that. Always all people were engaged in some activity. So Britishers they were surprised, oh, no beggars are there, and they were astonished. And why we are talking this one is because the charity, now for beggars, people are giving money, isn't it? But this charity, this giving money is a charitable activity, isn't it? But that should be done to qualified people only. It should not be given to some, it's written charity to be given to Brahmanas only. Because Brahmanas are the one, they are representative of Lord. They are talking about Lord to others, isn't it? So for them, charity to be given so that they can live peacefully and give this knowledge of God to others. That is what the Vedic culture was. But nowadays it is giving this one donation, charity to any type of people they are giving, because they are not reading Shastra, they are not following that, and if charity is given to unqualified people, it doesn't help both of them. Those who are taking charity also, they will also degrade. Those who are giving also, they will also become degraded. That is the main thing. So that's what here, the different purificatory process. One of the purificatory processes, Jata Karma, then Garbhadava Samsara, that Samskara, that all in Vedic culture people were following. Then this verse, that is verse number 17, Prabhupada talks about 3 types of devotees. This is very important. Mahabhavada devotee, that is first class devotee, then Madhyama Adhikari, second class devotee, and Kanishta Adhikari, that is a third class devotee. So these 3 types of devotees we would have heard. So when we come to Krishna consciousness, initially we are in the Kanishta Adhikari, the level, third class devotees. That means that this Kanishta Adhikari means he is the one who goes to temple for worshipping the Lord, offers respect to the deities without sufficient, he may not have full knowledge, and he doesn't bother about devotees. So Kanishta Adhikari means he has some faith, he goes to temple, he worships the Lord, that's all. He doesn't bother about any devotees, he doesn't talk to any devotee, that's all. This is a third grade devotee, Prabhupada writes. And the second grade devotee is the one who is Madhyama Adhikari. He has better faith in Lord. He also goes to temple, he does worship, but he makes friendship with similar devotees. This is very important, because we can progress in bhakti only in the association of devotees. So he tries to make a relationship with a similar type of devotees and shows favor to the neophytes. So newly whoever is coming, for them, he is trying to help and avoids atheistic people. This Madhyama Adhikari, they avoid the atheistic people because their faith is not that much full. But then the third category, that is Mahabhavata devotee, they are first grade devotees. They have complete faith in the Lord, and they see all the people, all the living beings in this world as Lord's children. So that is exalted vision they are having. And such first grade devotees of the Lord are perfect in all respects. A devotee who may be in any of these categories automatically qualified by all the good qualities, and thus a Mahabhavada devotee like Maharaj. Here, Maharaj Parīkṣit is mentioned as Mahabhavada devotee, because Pandavas, they were all great exalted devotees. By default, because they are all great devotees, so they are descendant also. Maharaj Parīkṣit also is a great devotee. That's why Lord is trying to save him in the mother's womb. And Yudhishthira Maharaj wants to, he had some anxiety whether Parīkṣit Maharaj also will be like that only. So he called this gurus, that Brahmanas, and he's asking, he's trying to see the astronomy of this Parīkṣit Maharaj, how he will be in future, whether they will be like us, like that he's asking. So this all these Brahmanas, they confirmed, yes, he will be like you people only. He will be a Mahabhagavata devotee of Lord. That's no problem like that. So once after hearing from that only, Yudhishthira Maharaj was satisfied. Okay, he's also like us only. And he understood, he was very happy. The good king Yudhishthira inquired, "O great souls, will he become a saintly king, as pious in his very name, and as famous and glorified in his achievements as others who appeared in the great royal family?" So these Pandavas, they all come from great royal family. Whether this Parīkṣit also will be like that only, he asked, and they confirmed that the Brahmanas who have come, they were confirmed. Then Maharaj Yudhishthira was satisfied that Parīkṣit also will be like us only. He will follow all the family traditions. He will rule the kingdom very nicely. With that confirmation, then Yudhishthira was very happy. Then afterwards, they renounced this material world, and all these Pandavas, they retire. Then Parīkṣit Maharaj will start ruling. That is a thing we can see here. So with this, we can conclude. So we thank all of you for patiently hearing these things. If anyone has want to add anything or want to ask any questions, you can ask, or otherwise we can end the class. Thank you very much, all devotees.